7:45 a.m. I've been up since 6. I got up at 6, made Ryan breakfast, and then I kind of like chilled out for a little bit, probably like 15-20 minutes, and then I cleaned the kitchen, which reminds me I forgot to sleep. So I'm gonna have to do that really quickly. I cleaned the kitchen, I like wiped down the counters, swept, which I still need to do, did all the dishes, and like wiped down the stovetop, and then I lit a candle so it doesn't smell like last night's dinner. Before I like just start the vlog, hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ellie. If you've never been here before, on this channel I upload whatever I want, and right now it's a reading vlog. I decided to do a 24-hour reading vlog yesterday, mainly because I've been wanting to do one this entire like winter season, but I've been in school, and now that I'm out of school, it'd be the perfect opportunity for me to do one of these. I decided that it would be soon until I remembered that one of my favorite booktubers is going to be hosting reading sprints later on this afternoon, and I just was like, that is so perfect because that's really going to help me like stay motivated but also take breaks. I'm thinking of doing a romance reading vlog, so let's just hop into my TBR. I also need to mention that I do have a couple things that I need to get done today. I have an appointment at 10:30. I will be doing it from the comfort of my own home over Zoom, but I do have an appointment today, which should only take me like 30 minutes, maybe 45 max. So it won't take me very long, but that is something that I have to do today. And then I also probably will have to maybe film and edit, at least film 2 videos for my budget channel, which shouldn't take me very long, but that is also time taken out of my days. So, but let's get into this TBR. So like I said, I'm planning to read like romance books. It doesn't even have to be a strictly romance or romantic book, but as long as it has some little like sprinkling of romance. So the first book is Promises of the Heart by Rossiter. I'm already on page 119 and there is 351 pages. So this one I will for sure finish, hopefully very soon here. I guess I can read the blurbs really quickly. Macy and Ben Samuelson have much to be thankful for. Great friends, a beautiful, if high maintenance, Victorian house on idyllic Tybee Island, and a rock-solid marriage. The only thing missing is what they want the most. After her 5th miscarriage in 6 years, Macy worries that the family they've always dreamed about might be out of reach. Her sister suggests adoption, but Macy and Ben aren't interested in pursuing that path until a 3-legged golden retriever named Keeper wags his way into their home and hearts. Harper Wheaton just got kicked out of another foster home, and it won't be the last if she keeps losing her temper. She's not sure why she gets mad, maybe because no family seems to want a 9-year-old with a heart condition. She loves her caseworker Cora, but knows that staying with her forever isn't an option. Will she ever find a family to call her own? As a physician's assistant, Macy meets lots of kids. Harper Wheaton's a tough one, but Macy knows the little girl has already struggled more than most. This gets Macy and Ben thinking about all the children who need homes. Then Harper goes missing, and one thing is suddenly crystal clear. Life is complicated, but love doesn't have to be. So it's kind of cheesy, but my mom actually gifted this to me because my mom is a physician's assistant, by the way, and we also have a golden retriever. That's literally why she gave it to me. So right now it's not bad, but it's also not very good. But it's not a bad, like, hard read. It's not difficult. So I should be able to finish this. So this will be the first book on the TBR. And then I feel like I always have to make this disclaimer, but this is a very overly ambitious TBR. I probably won't get to them. If you watch my last reading vlog, I finished 1.5 books, so we'll see how this one goes. Hopefully it goes better, but basically these are just books that I will be pulling from. The next one is The Fault in Our Stars. Look how new this cover is. I bought this my freshman year of high school and never read it. I know a lot of you are like, how have you never read The Fault in Our Stars? Sorry. I watched the movie and just felt like I didn't need to read it, but I just thought that this would be the perfect time to read this. It is 319 pages. I can read John Green pretty fast. It's also not very small font, but I can read John Green pretty fast. So Hopefully this will be like a breeze for me. I know the content is like not a breeze, but I'm hoping to finally read this. I don't know if I actually need to read the blurb, but I will for those of you who don't know what The Fault in Our Stars is. Despite the tumor shrinking medical miracle that has bought her a few years, Hazel has never been anything but terminal, her final chapter inscribed upon diagnosis. But when a gorgeous plot twist named Augustus Waters suddenly appears at Cancer Kid Support Group, Hazel's story is about to be completely rewritten. Maybe I'll watch the movie in the next couple days. Again, I haven't seen it in years. The next one is another book to movie adaptation, but that is To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. This was my friend Lacey's. She read it, she gifted it to me, which is funny because I think she's gonna be reading very soon here the sequels to this, the second and third books, which is just funny because of all the times for me to start reading this. This is obviously a romance. I love the first and third movies. The second one, not so much. I think maybe because I know the story, maybe it'll be like easier for me, but that could also make it harder for me since like I won't be like reading in anticipation of like what's to come in the book. So we'll see, but I'll read the blurb. Laura Jean keeps her love letters in a hat box her mother gave her. They aren't love letters that anyone else wrote for her. These are ones she's written. One for every boy she's ever loved, 5 in all. When she writes, she can pour out her heart and soul and say all the things she would never say in real life, because her letters are for her eyes only. Until the day her secret letters are mailed, and suddenly Laura Jean's love life goes from imaginary to out of control. The next book, oh my gosh, I'm just realizing that the next 4 books out of my TBR pile are now either book to movie adaptations or book to TV adaptations. So that's fun. The next one is Crazy Rich Asians. It is by Kevin Kwan. Again, love the movie. I did not get this at Target. It does have the Target sticker, but I got it at Goodwill actually, and it's in pretty good condition. When New Yorker Rachel Chu agrees to spend the summer in Singapore with her boyfriend Nicholas Young, she envisions a humble family home and quality time with the man she hopes to marry. But Nick has failed to give his girlfriend a few key details. 1, that his childhood home looked like a palace. 2, that he grew up riding in more private planes and cars. And 3, that he just happens to be the country's most eligible bachelor. On Nick's arm, Rachel may as well have a target on her back the second she steps off the plane, and soon her relaxed vacation turns into an obstacle course of old money, new money, nosy relatives, and scheming social climbers. The next book is The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. Again, it is now a movie on Netflix starring those 2 people. This one is not old, but it's also not a new release, obviously. I got this for free, actually. If you guys ever get those, like, Kellogg, well, actually, we don't support Kellogg anymore. But a while ago, when Kellogg would come out with, like, the cereal that, like, it would be like, get a free book. They literally sent me 2 free books, like, free novels. I didn't have to pay shipping or anything. They sent them to me. And they came in pretty fast too. So if they ever get their act together and they do it again, I recommend. But let's just read the blurb. Did the universe bring them together only to keep them apart? Natasha, I'm a girl who believes in science and facts, not fate, not dreams that will never come true. I'm definitely not the kind of girl who meets a cute boy on a crowded New York City street and falls in love with him. Not when my family is 12 hours away from being deported to Jamaica. Falling in love with him won't be my story. Daniel, I've always been the good son, the good student, living up to my parents' high expectations, never the poet or the dreamer, but something about Natasha makes me think that fate has something much more extraordinary in store for both of us. And then the last book that I'll be pulling from is The Night We Said Yes by Lauren Gibaldi. I honestly have no idea what this book is about. If you've heard of it, I don't know if anybody's heard of it. Maybe I should look it up on Goodreads, but I guess I should read the blurb for myself since I literally have no idea what it's about. Before Matt, Ella had a plan. Get over a no-good ex-boyfriend. graduate from high school without any more distractions, move away from Orlando, Florida, where she's lived her entire life. But Matt, the cute, shy, bespectacled bass player who just moved to town, was never part of that plan. And neither was attending a party that was crashed by the cops just minutes after they arrived, or spending an entire night saying yes to every crazy, fun thing they could think of. Then Matt abruptly left town, and he broke not only Ella's heart, but those of her best friends too. So when he shows up a year later with a plan of his own to relive the night that brought them together, Ella isn't sure whether Matt's worth a second chance, or if recreating the past can help them create a different future. In alternating then and now chapters, debut author Lauren Gibaldi crafts a charming romantic story of first loves, lifelong friendships, uncovered secrets, and ultimately finding out how to be brave. So I'm assuming that the writing of this will be like pretty easy to read. So that is kind of like why I picked it up. In my last reading vlog or 24-hour readathon, I read a book called The Last True Love Story, which no one's ever heard of. But it was actually a really easy read, and it kind of had the same premise where like they spent they just dropped everything and went on this trip to discover things. That's basically the premise, which is kind of the same thing as this, and also the same thing as Paper Towns, which I guess is an unpopular opinion amongst my friends, but I loved Paper Towns. So maybe that's like one of my like tropes that I like, or themes that I like. Maybe we'll discover that when we read this book. These are all of the 6 books that I will be pulling from. Obviously, the first one that I'm going to be finishing is the one that I'm currently reading. But after that, I have no idea. We're just going to go off of vibes as to which one we pick next. Okay, here goes nothing. Okay, so I read for an hour. I read about 60 pages in an hour, which means I'm reading about like a page a minute. So that's not that bad. I kind of calculated it. It'll take me about 3.5 hours until I finish this book, which is shorter than I thought, honestly. So now I'm about halfway through. I read exactly 10 chapters, so not bad. At first it was kind of like hard to get back into because I haven't read it in so long, and also because the dialogue is just cringy to me. Like, it's like very thought out responses, but like I feel like in real life, like dialogue, it's not like that. Like not every comeback is clever, you know? So it is a little bit cringy. And then I feel like the author kind of like, you know, people's like unspoken mannerisms, like just the way they talk with their hands, or like the way like their facial expressions and things. Not everything needs to be written, you know? Like I can imagine that happening without the author writing it, but the author literally writes every single detail like that, which makes it even more cringy to me. This is written in third person, but it's like 3 or 4 different perspectives. One from Harper, the foster child, which is another reason why my mom gave this to me. My mom is a foster mom, and so there's just a lot of connections to her. But one of the perspectives is the foster child. One is Macy, who's like the woman who can't get pregnant. And then even in the beginning of the book, we had some perspectives from her husband, Ben. And then we also have perspectives from Cora, who is the social worker or the caseworker of Harper. And then the dog keeper. I don't know if we got any perspectives from the dog, but the way that like Harper is connected to the dog, Harper's connected to Cora, Cora's connected to Macy. Macy knows Janelle, who's the hairdresser, and Janelle also knows Cora and Harper. And the dog, like, even down to the pets, like one of the animals at the animal shelter used to be the pets of one of the neighbors. Like the way that everything is connected, and it all is just gonna wrap up like into one pretty little bow. I could just sense it. It just feels like I'm reading a Hallmark movie. That's what this book feels like. It is a very like easy read. There's like, in my opinion, I guess the only like content that could be like triggering to people is maybe miscarriages or the foster system. That's really the only content warnings that I would give for this book. Like if you struggle with the like hearing or reading about those types of things. But other than that, it's a pretty like lighthearted read. It's 9:20. I have an hour and 10 minutes until my appointment. So I think I'm going to probably eat breakfast because I can feel my body like getting a little bit weak, and I'm realizing that I haven't eaten anything yet. So I'm probably gonna make myself some breakfast and then get back to reading and go to my appointment, and then I'll figure out when I'm gonna update you guys. Okay everybody, it's about 2 hours and 35 minutes into, show you the camera, I'll show you the timer. It's been about 2 hours and 35 minutes into this readathon. Why can't I talk? I just got off of my appointment with my doctor and things went well. So now I just have time to read. The appointment literally only took about 15 minutes, so I knew it would go by fast. But she was late to the appointment, so I just sat here reading. So I got to page 225, so there's about 125 pages left, if you can see. So yeah, I'm definitely going through this pretty fast, and I'm hoping to finish it here soon. I kind of want to finish it before I eat lunch, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so far not bad. Also, I looked it up on Goodreads just to see like how far I was when I first started today, and I discovered that this is now a series, and the second one came out this past April, and I think there's a third one. One of my like not necessarily pet peeves, but like, I don't know the word, but I feel like I always find typos in books, and I just found one. Anyways, back to the story. Okay guys, I look like a mess. I took a lunch break about an hour ago. Ryan came home and we had lunch together and talked a little bit, and then I started reading. I have 10 pages left. Like, look at my bookmark. Literally 10 pages, and I'm 5 hours in. So I'm gonna finish this, And then we'll talk about the next book that I'm gonna pick up and probably my final like wrap up thoughts on this book. Okay, first book finished. We are almost 5.5 hours into this readathon, and I finished my first book. Ending thoughts, concluding thoughts. Like I said, everything wrapped up into a nice little pretty bow, as I expected. I'm trying to think of what to say without like just summarizing the whole book, but nice happy ending. And I would say I got used to the cringy dialogue, so it kind of helped me like get through the rest. Like usual, like the rest of the book, it had some pretty unrealistic events happen, but I mean, it fit the theme. I would probably rate it, I'm trying to decide between a 2.5 and a 3 stars, but it's gonna get probably 3 stars on Goodreads, so yeah. Okay, so I'm looking at the stack of the other books that I have in my TBR pile. I'm kind of leaning towards The Fault in Our Stars, but I don't know. Okay, so I obviously chose The Fault in Our Stars. That is what I'm going to be reading. For time's sake, it's about to be 5 hours and 40 minutes, so we'll see how long this one takes me. I'll let you guys know if I take any breaks in between. And yeah, I'm kind of excited because my teenage self loved John Green. Okay friends, I ended up taking a little break, scrolled on TikTok, and now we're 7 hours into the readathon. So it's time to get back to reading, give myself a little brain break. I'm also drinking some water to make myself feel better because I just need to drink more water in general. Okay guys, updates. We are now, well, it's 5:38, almost 5:40, and we're now almost 9.5 hours into this reading for 24 hours challenge. I am like probably a quarter of the way into The Fault in Our Stars. Pretty good, not gonna lie. Really like it. I bet I would have ate it up as a high schooler, truly. And I cannot wait to finish it tonight. I will finish it tonight. I can't wait to finish it tonight so I can watch The Fault in Our Stars tomorrow while I'm packing.
What's going on guys, Ryan here, and today, just kidding.
Alright guys, we're 13 hours and 46 minutes into the challenge. It is exactly 10 p.m. and I'm still feeling okay. I'm chugging water right now because my organs, this straw is so annoying, I'm so sorry. My organs are begging for water. I am determined to finish The Fault in Our Stars. I took the dust jacket off because it was just too pristine to keep on here and read. I am on page 168 and I'm just gonna put it into Goodreads to see like what that is percentage wise. I'm 53% of the way done with The Fault in Our Stars. I'm gonna keep reading. I'm, like I said, 13 hours and pretty much 50 minutes into this reading vlog, but so far so good. honestly, like, it's still a 5 stars for me. There's no reason for me to dock anything from here. It's not one of my favorite books, but I'm not a harsh grader. Take that as you will. Also, I think the way that I'm still able to enjoy it at this stage in my life is pretty satisfying, but I know that if I would have read this in high school, I would have been living. Like, this probably would have been my favorite book. I probably would have made everything in this my personality. So, you should be thankful that I didn't read this in high school, because that would be so embarrassing. But I'm enjoying it now. I'm sorry, like, this may be a controversial opinion, and this can be a whole other topic, but John Green's books are predictable. Like, they all follow the same formula, but he gets me almost every time. I have read Paper Towns, Looking for Alaska, Turtles All the Way Down, An Abundance of Catherines. What else have I read? I'm looking at my shelf right now. Now, The Fault in Our Stars. So 5. The only one besides The Fault in Our Stars that I haven't read is Will Grayson, Will Grayson. But all of them besides An Abundance of Catherines were like 5 stars for me. So John Green, I'm just gonna say it, I can get with some John Green. Like, so, I mean, are we surprised? Now I just want to read Will Grayson, Will Grayson. Obviously not in this vlog, but because, like, if I'm enjoying this, why did I not just finish my John Green collection? Because I own Will Grayson, Will Grayson. But anyways, I'm on a tangent now. Let's get back to the topic at hand, which is The Fault in Our Stars. I'll update you guys when I have some thoughts. Alright guys, 17 hours into the challenge and I finished The Fault in Our Stars. Towards the end there, it started to get really rough because I was just starting to fall asleep. And honestly, I'm about to drink some water, brush my teeth, and go to sleep. Like, I feel accomplished, to be honest. There's no way that I'm gonna stay up the whole 24 hours. And I knew that going into it. But I mean, it was worth a shot, you know? I will update you guys when I can think, which will probably be tomorrow. Alright guys, it's been a few days, but it's time for me to wrap up this vlog. I wanted to just share my final thoughts on the 2 books that I read. So the first one was Promises of the Heart by Nan Rossiter. My final thoughts for this one, I would say I didn't hate it, but I also wasn't obsessed. There's just some of the dialogue was just like super cheesy, and some of the events were just unrealistic. Like I said, they all kind of wrapped up in a really pretty little bow, and I wasn't a fan. So I'm opening up my Goodreads so I can remember what rating I gave it, because I don't remember. I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads, but technically 2.5, and I just rounded up. But yeah, I just thought that it really felt like I was reading a Hallmark movie, and I was going through the ratings on this book on Goodreads, and someone literally said everything that I felt. That it felt like they were reading a Hallmark movie, but in a book, and everything was just super unrealistic, and it just didn't, I don't know, just something about it. It wasn't bad though, so if you like books that are like super like heartfelt and everything just wraps up nicely in the end, this would probably be a good book for you to read. But yeah, that's that one. And then the second book that I finished in this 24-hour readathon was The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. This one I did give a 5 stars on Goodreads. I wish I read this as a teenager, because I would have been obsessed. Like if I read this at the time where I read all of the other John Green books, I definitely, like, this would have been my whole personality. So maybe it's a good thing I didn't read this, but reading it now, I still can appreciate it for who it was written for. But honestly, like, I didn't have any issues with it. I know that might be like a controversial opinion, but I really enjoyed it. And yeah, it made me actually want to pick up another John Green book. So right now, or the past couple of days, I started to read Will Grayson by John Green and David Levithan, I believe. So if you haven't read The Fault in Our Stars, then I actually do recommend it to you on a few like terms and conditions. I think if you like books, like YA books that are targeted for maybe like younger readers, and also like if you're okay with reading books about cancer, or it can be kind of cringy, I guess, if you think about like two kids with cancer being together. I don't know, maybe just watch the movie. If you don't already have negative opinions about The Fault in Our Stars, I do recommend it. So that is the end of this vlog. I just want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. I don't know if I'm going to do another one of these. I don't know. We'll see. I don't have one in mind yet, but I think I might do one day. If you have any reading recommendations for me, go ahead and comment them down below. I'm going to be going to the library soon, so I kind of already have a huge list of books that I want to check out, but I guess I can add to the list. If you like content like this, or if you enjoy me and my personality, please subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!